Yo, what is up guys? It's Pedro here, and today was the deadline for the franchise tag, and the Washington Commanders did not use it on free agent safety Cam Curl, and Cam Curl had something to say on Twitter. We'll get into it in today's video. If you guys are new, make sure to subscribe, hit that like button, and that notification bell as well so you never miss a video. Alrighty, so the Washington Commanders did not franchise tag Cameron Curl. Not that it was expected, but the deadline was 4 p.m. today. The number would have been $17.1 million, which for me is too much for safety. I think Cam Curl is good, but for a safety like Cam Curl that has not, produced a lot of interceptions and turnovers, $17 million is a lot. And again, if it's a one-year deal, that's $17.1 million fully guaranteed and a $17.1 million cap hit. And it would be different if this roster is ready to compete right away. Then you can franchise tag them and see what you can do. But you're not at that point, and there's a lot of different safeties on the market. There's a couple other safeties that went on the market today. Jamal Adams, which, I'm not saying we should go after him. I think he's washed, has been going through a lot of injuries and just not the same player. But then Quandre Diggs from the Seattle Seahawks, that's a guy I would be at least a little bit intrigued, about. And maybe the Washington Commanders can go after him. And there's a bunch of other guys as well. I mean, Antoine Winfield Jr., he got franchise tag, but Xavier McKinney's an option, Kyle Duggar as well. So just some other guys that if we can't go after Cam Curl, then maybe we go after those guys. And Cam Curl, this is right after the deadline. He just did the deuces, the peace sign, basically saying peace. Maybe there's still a chance that he comes back, but it just doesn't feel. If you're doing that, it probably means you're not staying, and the negotiations didn't work out the way you wanted them to work. So if this is the end of the road for Cam Curl, it was a good 4-year run here. He was a 7th round pick, played early on in his rookie year a little bit, and then started to start games once Landon Collins got hurt, and ever since then was a stud, one of the best, if not the best player on this defense over the last 4 years. Like him, John Allen, really him and John Allen were the best players the last 4 years. John Allen had a little bit of down year this year. Dron Payne also throw him in the mix, and Kendall Fuller as well. Those guys were pretty good for us. And if Cam Curl leaves, it is what it is. But if he leaves, we don't re-sign him, and we don't go crazy in free agency, then we'll get probably a 3rd round comp pick for him, maybe 4th, but I'm thinking 3rd. I think Cam Curl will get 14. I think he'll get anywhere from like $12 to $15 million a year. I don't think he's worth too much more than that. Again, doesn't produce enough turnovers for me to want to pay him $16, $17 million a year, but he's still a very good player. He's a good tackler, and doesn't blow a lot of coverages. Sometimes he does, but a lot of players do. But for the most part, he's really good in terms of finishing tackles. Not a lot of guys break tackles on him, and he's just a good player, good guy. Never had any issues with Cam Curl in terms of being a bad teammate or off the field issues. That I can remember, there were no issues. So I still don't think it's like a foregone conclusion that he leaves, but I think it's going to be tough for him to come back, especially after he does the peace sign and says, that's basically saying he's gone unless something crazy happens. They're not going to bring him back, which was kind of my read on the situation. I thought it was like maybe a 55% chance, 60% chance he would be gone, and I was never really worried about it. I think Cam Curl, he's properly rated or even overrated by local fans and media. By the national media, I think he's either properly rated or underrated, but we know how good he is, and I think some people blow it a little bit. But you can also see how good how well our defense played when he was playing versus when he wasn't playing. When he wasn't playing, especially in 2022, it was completely different. So I do understand the people that really want him back. I would not have minded if he was back, but there are other safeties as well. And we can go, potentially sign someone like Kyle Duggar. Kyle Duggar. Let's see if he got franchise tag. So he's a guy. Okay, they placed a transition tag on him, keeping off the market and giving them a chance to match any offers. So there's a chance there's a chance that we could sign someone like Kyle Duggar. Would not mind him at all. I don't think we need to go ahead and break the bank, though, on a safety. And then Antoine Winfield, he's not going to be on the market. Xavier McKinney, he's a guy that I wouldn't mind as well. But we also do have a bunch of young guys in the secondary in Quan Martin, Derek Forrest, and Percy Butler. I don't think all those guys are going to be studs. I think it's going to be very hard for all three of those guys to be studs. But maybe one of them can be a stud, or two of them. And Quan Martin has some talent. Derek Forrest, I think he's at least like a starter in this league. Maybe he could be better than that. That is still, yet to be seen. He was good in his second year. This year when he was playing, only played a few games, wasn't great. So it's just really a wait and see for him. And then Percy Butler is very boomer bust. Had some okay moments, but also had some really bad moments. This will be the year for him to see if he is a player in this league or not, besides a special teams guy. So that's something to watch out for. And then other free agents we have, Kendall Fuller. We'll see if we bring him back. I want him back. He's a good guy to have back. Or he's a good guy to have in that secondary. But at the same time, he is a little bit older. Even though it feels like he's been in the league for so long, he's actually not like too old. Like you would think he's like 34, 35. I think he's like 31 years old. And yeah, Brian Burns got tagged. But even if a guy gets tagged, like you can still trade them. So 29 years old, which is absolutely crazy to think that Kendall Fuller is 29 years old when, just on the Commanders/Redskins, it seems like he's been on the team for 6 years? Yeah, at least 6, maybe 7. And then you look at, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years, and then 7, 8. So he's been in the NFL for 8 years. It feels like he's way older than 29, but he's still playing at a solid level. You look at it, with Washington, 4 interceptions, 1, 3, and 2, relatively healthy. So am I going to break the bank for him? No, but I wouldn't mind paying him what we just paid him for this 4-year contract, maybe a little bit more because, again, it is 4 years later. I wouldn't mind that. Would not mind that at all. Or if we want to give him a 1-year deal, he might be a guy that's like, you know what, I'm fine staying with the team that's rebuilding just because he has won a Super Bowl. It's a team and area he's familiar with. He did go to Virginia Tech, so he's and his, I think at least one of his brothers, maybe both of his brothers went there as well. So I'm not sure. I think he grew up in Maryland. I'm not completely sure where he grew up, but it might be a situation where he's chilling here and he'll be fine taking a 1-year deal. Or he could want to compete with a contender. Maybe he wants to go back to Kansas City with Steve Spagnuolo if he was there when Kendall was there. That's another thought as well. And besides that, we don't have any crazy free agents. We cut Charles Leno, Logan Thomas, Nick Gates. We have some minor guys for sure, like Gibson. I'm sure some people want him back. I'm fine letting him go. We just don't have that many guys that's we need to bring back. So, I would like to bring back Kendall Fuller because I think he's done a good job here. Would be good for, our secondary, for young guys because, we really don't have any good corners right now. Forbes, I don't know. Yet to be seen. I have hope for him, but we don't know what he's going to be. And Benjamin St. Juste, at this point, he's just not that guy. He's been in the league, that was his 3rd year, and he either has injuries or just getting burnt. I really had hope for him, but it's been 3 full years, and he hasn't shown that he's a good corner in this league. He's maybe a good backup to have, or maybe a low-tier starter. Maybe he can turn into something eventually, but he's not a guy you can count on. He's not a guy that you can count on. We really don't have any of those guys in the secondary now besides Kendall Fuller if we bring him back. And then, Gibson's another free agent, but I think we should let him go, get a comp pick. I like him. He's a good guy, and he's a good player too. But at this point, I don't think we need him. We have Brian Robinson, who is a solid back and then, running the ball and also is better than we thought pass catching. And you got Chris Rodriguez and maybe bring in another guy. I think they're going to try to bring in a lot of their own guys. So a guy like Gibson, he doesn't really move the needle too much. So unless Peters really liked him coming out of college, from Memphis, I just don't think he's going to keep him. But yeah, that's it for today's video. Hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, hit that like button, subscribe if you guys are new. We'll be doing I'm going to try to upload every single day up until free agency, maybe a couple videos some days going over either rumors or guys I want to sign. So thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoy it, and peace.